Today I wanted to speak about gentrification from the perspective of a property investor. My name is Thomas O'Regan. Over the last 3.5 years, me and my wife have built an 11 property portfolio. We took $45,000 of cash and we turned it into a $4 million property portfolio with about $1 million of equity in the space of 3 years. Now, through the properties that we have invested in, we've been able to see gentrification and and how it affects property investing and the growth of property. And we've been able to see it, well, I've been able to see it in areas that I've grown up in as well, and how the areas have progressed from effectively shitholes to very nice and very expensive areas. Now, I just want to give this one example of this area that I grew up in. Well, I didn't really, sorry, my dog's just behind me. It's not an area I grew up in, but when I was training to be a chef, I moved out of home and I moved into the city to this place called King's Cross in Sydney. And this place was famous. It had a street on it called the Golden Mile, and the Golden Mile was where all the prostitutes and drug addicts and drug dealers hung out. So on this street, it just attracted absolute scum of the earth. I lived nearby because it was cheap, and basically everything was cheap and it was a shithole. But the thing about the areas around it was, all the areas around it were very nice, and it was a very close location to the city. Now, it's been about 10 years since I used to live there. The area is totally turned around. It's full of hipsters. It's full of very nice restaurants. It's got some of the best restaurants in Sydney there now. It's got nice clothing stores, boutique, artisarian cheese shops and wine shops and things like that. It's very nice. It's very sought after, and it's very expensive. So the way it works is, for me, how I've seen it is, this is from the property investor's standpoint. So when I look for property, I look for properties that are of value. Okay, and what I mean by that is, when I compare where they are to other similar areas, are they cheaper or more expensive? And if they are more cheaper, I see them as valuable, because effectively, if the area has the potential to gentrify, then that will push up the values. And, right, feel like I'm getting a bit lost here, okay? So basically, I buy properties, I look for properties that are cheap, affordable properties, the bottom of the market, and every single time I find properties like this, you've got to take note of what's going on in the marketplace as well, but layering that on top as well. But every time I buy properties that are cheap, affordable properties in these areas that have gentrification potential, I always get huge amounts of growth in my property portfolio. So when I'm looking at properties, I'm looking at, okay, so what is the land value? What am I paying per square meter? What is the value of the building, and what am I paying per square meter for the value of the building over the price? So effectively, if I'm buying a property for under the building cost, under the value of how much you need to buy it, and I'm buying the property again close to land value, then I'm buying a good investment. And if I'm buying it in an area which has gentrification potential, it has like a double upside. Okay, so that's when you start, and when the gentrification happens, that's when everyone realizes, shit, I can't actually afford to pay like $1 million for a house. I'd much rather just go down the street and pay, $400,000 for that house that's pretty much the same. I'll just do a little bit of renovation. Once everyone figures that out, that's when the gentrification happens. And if you jump onto the boat early, you win. And that's why we've made so much profit in our property portfolio. So hopefully this helps. hopefully this has helped you guys understand what is value investing, what to look out for when you're purchasing properties, and to, take advantage of the potential upside in the marketplace. See ya. Bye.